incredible work done by RSLs across Australia, including in my electorate of Chisholm. I know I'm not the first member to talk about their importance to the communities we represent, and I hope I'm not the last one. The Returned Sailors Soldiers Imperial League of Australia, from which today's Returned and Services League of Australia originates, was founded by those returning from World War I to preserve the spirit of mateship formed during the horror of battle. These RSLs honor the memory of the fallen servicemen and women that gave their lives to protect the values we hold dear. Their primary aim was to ensure that those wounded, injured, and suffering as a consequence of war were cared for, and for more than 100 years, the Returned and Services League has ensured that care, advocacy, and financial assistance is provided to past and present servicemen and women of the Australian Defence Force. This important work continues to this day. RSL branches provide a wide range of activities, advice, and support to Australian soldiers and their families. For many Australians, this local RSL branch is at the heart of the connection they have to their community. The story is no different in Chisholm. Our branches, which include Blackburn RSL, Box Hill RSL, Burwood RSL, and Waverley RSL, do such wonderful work for local veterans. Among so many other things, our RSLs host social gatherings, dinners, and fundraisers, as well as special functions and services on Anzac Day and Remembrance Day. Having spoken to veterans at these services, I can attest to the value that many of them place on their membership of their local RSL, and the connection and sense of community that they can find there. The Minister for Veterans Affairs and Defence Personnel, my friend, the Honourable Darren Chester, has encouraged veterans affected by the ongoing coverage of the Inspector General of the Australian Defence Force Afghanistan's inquiry to seek support if they need it. At this time, I cannot overstate the importance of RSLs to the ongoing mental well-being of our current and former servicemen and women. We also must not understate the role that RSLs play for the rest of us. These proud institutions continually work to ensure that we do not forget the sacrifice that ADF personnel have made for this country, its people, and our Australian way of life. But it has been a really difficult year for RSLs. COVID-19 has impacted the ability of branches to generate revenue in a big way. For months, with money no longer flowing from the sale of drinks and food and from hosting of events, RSLs in Chisholm and across the nation have struggled financially. This has a real impact on their ability to stay open and to provide the services that many veterans rely on them for. Mr. Deputy Speaker, now that restrictions are lifted and RSLs are operating, at least in a limited way, I would encourage everyone across Australia, but particularly my community in Chisholm, to get down to your local RSL and show your support. Buy a pot and a palmer, or just get a cup of coffee. Every bit helps. So RSLs are there for our servicemen and women, and they have been there for more than 100 years. It is now the time that we as Australians can show our support. I'll be going to my local RSL next week, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank the member for Chisholm. The question is the motion be agreed to, and I call the member for Caldwell.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I want to thank the member for Stirling for bringing this private member's motion to the House.